Welcome to the homework solutions video for assignment 6.06 number 1. We're just going to be solving an easy level Sudoku puzzle from kakuro.com. We can leave it as puzzle 1 of 1500 and just play. So what we want to do is take a look at everything that could possibly be in this. We can make sketch marks as well. So if we look in this row, we know where the 1 is in the top row, we know where the 1 is in the bottom row, or in the middle row, so the 1 in the bottom has to be in one of these two. Similarly, we have 2's in the top two rows, so we have to have a 2 in the bottom row here. Now we have two cells that have to have two numbers in them. So even if we didn't have this 5 here, we could say there's no way there's a 5. We can say there's no way this is a 7, because we need these two spaces for the 1 and 2. The 5 cannot be here or here, therefore this is definitively the 5. So our other two numbers that we don't have flagged yet are the 3 and the 7. So they have to be in these last two cells. So that takes care of this piece here. We don't know exactly what they're going to be in the long term. We know some. Now, looking in this cell, I'm picking this one because we see a 9 here, so there can't be a 9 in this column. There can't be a 9 in this row. Therefore, this 9, or this cell, has to be the 9. So we know we have to have a 7 somewhere in one of these. It can't be in this column because we have the 7 down here. Therefore, the 7's on top, which is enough to say this can no longer be a 7, so that has to be a 3, and this has to be a 7. We are left with, then, identifying spots for the 5 and the 6. Because the 5 cannot be in the bottom row, it must be here, which makes this the 6. So our middle cell is, our square is completely solved. If we look at this bottom row, we have to have the numbers 1 through 8, or 1 through 9. 8 is not anywhere. We have 1, 2. This row still needs a 3 and a 9. Because we have a 3 in this column, it cannot be here. So that's the 3, which leaves only one space for the 9. Now this square also needs a 6, but we have one in this middle column from the bottom row. So this one has to be a 6, which leaves this for the 4 and only the 4. So the whole middle section is now fully solved with the exception of these two cells, which we are about to solve. Because if we look at our bottom, we have a 2 here, we have a 2 here. Therefore, we have to have a 2 in the top row. It can't be in the right because we have a 2 up here. It can't be in the middle because there's a 9 there. So this is a 2, which means that one cannot be a 2, and the 2 goes here. So our middle block is now fully solved. Let's take a look at what other numbers we have to fill in. There's only 3 blanks left in this entire column, and we are missing a 6, an 8, and a 9. We have a 9 down at the bottom, so in this 3x3 block, so the other 9 must be up there. Leaves us with a 3 and 6 here. Because of this 6 down here, this 6 has to be here, which leaves us with an 8 here. So now we have 1, 2, we still need to find a 3, a 4, and a 7. The 7 cannot be in this middle column, so it's here. We have a 4 out here, so this cannot be the 4, therefore it must be the 3, and that's the 4. Only 3 squares left to solve here, so that's a good starting point. We need a 1 in one of them, but we have a 1 in the middle row. So the 1 must be down here. Now we have a 6 and an 8, but we have a 6 in this column and an 8 in that column. So our numbers must go this way. Now in this row, we need a 2 and an 8. Sorry, a 1 and an 8, and we have a 1 right here. We have a 1 in that middle column from here, So this cannot be the 1, therefore this is the 1, and this is the 8. And again, we want to look for the spaces that have the fewest blanks left to fill in. So now that looks like this row with 3 blanks. We need a 4, a 6, and a 7. We already have a 4 here. So go to our notes, that's either a 6 or a 7. Here we have the 6 and 7, so that's got to be the 4. And then back here, that one is either a 6 or a 7. We also have 3 cells left in each of these columns. Oh, but only 2 in this column. So let's jump over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do not have 8 or 9. So we have an 8 or a 9 down here. We cannot have an 8 here because we have an 8 over there. So therefore this is definitively 9, and that is definitely the 8. So in our bottom square here, that leaves us just looking for the places for the 9 and the 7. This one cannot be the 7 because of this 7 over here. So that's the 9. And this 9 here means that couldn't have been the 9, that had to have been the 7. That lets us solve this square. That must be the 6, which means this is the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have either a 5 or a 6 in each of these. And we don't have any 5s or 6s in the columns above. So let's pencil those in because we don't yet know which they are. And the bottom row needs a 1, a 3, and a 9. We have 2 3s above it here. There's a 3 in the first column and a 3 in the second column. So this must definitively be the 3. We have a 9 here. So this one has to be the 9, which leaves that to be the 1. In the top, there's only 1 spot left that doesn't have anything. There's 2 that are left unsolved. That's that same 5 or 6 option we had down here. This column is missing a 1, and because of this 1, it can only be the top number, and the other number that we don't yet have here is a 4. So now in this entire column, we are missing both a 5 and a 6. We cannot have a 5 or a 6 here, because if it did, we'd have 5, 6 to pick from here and 5 and 6 to pick from here. It would be ambiguous. And one of the rules in Sudoku is you are allowed to not only have a unique solution, but you can demand a unique solution. So this cannot be either the 5 or the 6. In fact, the only other number we need here is the 2, and that's the only place the 2 can be. So even if we didn't demand the unique solution, this would have to be the 2. Because of the 6, that one has to be the 5, which now lets us solve for the rest of these columns. Now every square left is up here. They're all in the same 3x3 grid, which means there is only one possible way to solve each of these squares. This one must be the 7. Now there's only one number left in each column, just like there's only one number left in that row. It's one of the other ways we know there's only one way to solve it. So we need to find a space for the 5 and a space for the 8. So that completes the solutions for assignment 6.06, number 1.